Greetings, viewers! Daffy Duck here to present to you a comparison of this little golden book, The Sailor Dog, with the video version that was part of the Poky Little Puppy's favorite stories. You may have noticed me pointing these out in the Golden Book Video Killers episode we did on that video. Right now, I'll tell you, they changed a lot of things in this Golden Book video version. For example, you see the cover artwork here?
Yes, Scuppers was brave and strong and happy. He probably would have sailed on forever and ever. But one day...
Yep, that's where they used it. And let's look what else is in the book. Oh, this first illustration here. This opening scene was passed off quite differently. In fact, the only time we saw that illustration of the sailor dog holding on to the wheel...
Not over a whale! Whee! Wonderful sail in a fog!
This, they don't even show the life on the farm. Instead, they borrowed a lot of illustrations from another book by the same author and illustrator team, Mr. Dog, the dog who belonged to himself. For example, you remember that part when Scupper's father woke up at one morning?
Wake up, Skipper. Today's the day I go back to sleep.
Well, actually, look at this illustration. Yep. It's actually from Mr. Dog. So anytime you see this so-called skipper, like here...
Scuppers, that's the best name for a sailor dog. With Scuppers, there are lots of exciting things to do. Scuppers, we're moving to a farm. Oh, well, take care, matey, and be sure to write. You know, son, I miss this.
It's actually Crispin Crispian, the protagonist of Mr. Dog. And it looks like some other illustrations from other books illustrated by Garth Williams for use here. Because I remember in The Sailor Dog, the only animals that appeared that were anthropomorphic were dogs. No rabbits or anything like that. They didn't even show that submarine in the book, or even this car. But they did show that lighthouse at one part. And moving right along, ooh, recognize this illustration of Scuppers?
Auntie Amanda, it's good to see you again. It's me, Scuppers.
took him pattering down the stairways just as fast as he could go.
Hi there, a perfect ship for a sailor dog.
Scuppers.
Yep, same illustration they used as the famous pose. The boat was also featured in the book. And so are these two illustrations here. Except this one, they showed more than once. Same with this one. And right after it, they cut to a silhouette. Yes, like that. Aww, that's so cute. I mean, look at him, sleeping in the little bunk. They did show this illustration a couple of times. For the second time, they modified this clothes here.
On the hook for his hat. He hangs his spyglass on the hook for his spyglass. He hangs his new coat on the hook for his coat. And his pants on the hook for his pants. And his new rope on the hook for his rope. His new shoes he puts under his bunk.
Oh, I love to climb into my bunk and listen to the waves lapping against the hull to the ship.
Oh yeah, and they rock the picture back and forth, too. That'll made me seasick when we did the Golden Book Video Killers episode. And they don't show the storm hitting the ship. That was only in the book. But however, you may remember this part, that maybe it was a treasure. It was a treasure to Scuppers and a rip-off to Grumpy and I. That shot of Scuppers fishing, remember? That wasn't in the Sailor Dog. Scuppers doesn't even fish at all in this book. Let's move on to the next page. Oh, that's cute! Oh, and he's naked, too! But who cares about the nakedness right now, anyway? Because this next illustration, they first showed them in the thought bubbles above the sleeping Scuppers.
As he slept, Scuppers dreamed.
If I could build a house, I could mend the hole in my ship.
And that's exactly what he did.
And they passed this off as real, like in this sequence. And moving on, we don't see any of these foreign people in the book either. But they do reuse the Scupper pose a few times, like in this montage.
Thanks, Captain. I'll try. I promise I will. Excuse me. I want to buy some clothes just right for a sailor dog. Too small. A jacket for a sailor dog. Silly.
Yep, same illustration. And moving on, the shopping sequence for the clothes was changed quite a bit too. For example, they made the guy here hold some of the stuff, like the purple hat here. That would make him look like a princess. Since when are princesses silly and elves fancy? And when we turn this page, we get this illustration, which was also used at the beginning of the video.
On sunnier days, Scuppers peered out over the sea with his spyglass.
And near the end, they altered it, so now it would look like this.
Happy I'll always be. A sailor sailing the deep green sea.
Turning this page here, we get his song. You remember they did the sing-along of this during the regular sequence and the credits. And this illustration of the lighthouse was used during the closing credits, too. And you'll also recognize this Scupper illustration was used a few times in the video. So anyways, make sure you stay tuned on Tom Blappy's channel for a new Golden Video Killers episode on Merry Mother Goose.